What's up, guys? It's Salvajee from the Salvajee Cartel, and in this Salvajee Speaks, I'm talking about millennials in general. Alright, I've been avoiding this topic for such a long time, but I think it's about time I talk about it, because apparently some dude made a video about millennials, and I haven't really watched it yet, but I kind of heard about it from some sources. Whatever, let's talk about millennials. Do I consider myself a millennial? I don't consider myself a millennial. I mean, I'm young, I'm 20 years old, so I guess you could say I am a millennial, because that's, you know, in a way the definition of a millennial. But I don't know, I sort of feel like the definition of a millennial, at least from my perspective that I know of, it's, you know, all of these young people that think they deserve big things without working hard for it, and you know, these people that had like parents who told them they were special and all that stuff, blah 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 blah. Whatever, like I don't really see myself within that group. That's why I don't consider myself a millennial. Alright, when I behave bad, my parents hit me with a fucking belt. Alright, or a fucking chancleta. Alright, if you're Latino, if you're Hispanic, you know what a fucking chancleta is, you know what a cinto is. Alright, because if you behave bad, you will get hit by that shit. I remember one time I disrespected my mom, and my dad literally got out of the shower with soap on, took out his belt, and started hitting me with it. Alright, yeah, never in my life I've disrespected my mom, so thank you, Dad. But anyways, the point is, I was raised, I guess you could say, sort of different. Part of this, it's because of course I was born in Cuba, alright, and I guess you could say, you know, Cuba's a different country from the US, because honestly I believe the whole sort of like millennial mentality only comes from like American kids. Like, you see all of these American kids thinking that, you know, they should go to a tournament and they should give them first place. I mean, I saw this in tournaments like all the time. Guys, I did karate for 3 years, remember? And something I would always see in tournaments, a lot actually, is parents fucking complaining that their kids didn't get a fucking medal, alright, even though they lost. Something that I would see a lot is parents always complaining when their kid lost. Okay, I would get pissed off by that, okay, because of course you don't know a martial art until you actually do the martial art, you know, itself. Alright, and then you see all these parents, they asking me, they're like, oh, you know, did he cheat? He had to cheat, right? That's what you want. I was like, no, your kid just lost. Alright, you know, my parents, they always taught me to take the fucking L. Alright, you know, they taught me that, you know what, if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. And losing is bad, so you need to fucking win. Alright, that's what they taught me. So anyways, with that said, that's what sort of, you know, that's sort of like my rant on if I consider myself a millennial, and the whole sort of like millennial attitude and all that good stuff. Now, let's talk about what do I think about millennials themselves. Alright, all of these people that, you know, they think they deserve a trophy, you know, but without putting in the work. All of these people that are just cocky as fuck without having you know, sort of like the work to sort of back it up. All of these people, I clearly think they're fucking stupid. Like, I don't even consider them millennials. Alright, I just think they're fucking stupid. Like, again, I was raised in Cuba. I was raised with a lot of entrepreneurial energies around me. I was raised that you have to work hard for what you want. So yeah, I mean, keep in mind, I come from a poor family, guys. My family's poor, alright? Well, we're not poor. We're middle class, alright? But middle class, you know, from Cuban perspectives, we're fucking poor, alright? In Cuba, there's rich and then there's poor, alright? There's no fucking middle class. If you're middle class, you're poor, alright? So that's why I came to the decision, we're poor, I'm gonna get this family out of poverty, alright? Anyways, what do I think about millennials? Yeah, if you're like, if you're a fucking dumbass, you're a fucking dumbass, alright? Because honestly, I don't even like to just study the whole term millennial, because I think it's just stupid, right? Here's the thing, this is something that my friend Carlos told me once. I was a senior and I was talking shit about freshmen, and he always told me, you know, it's funny how the seniors always blame the younger people. And that's the same thing that happens. Like, old entrepreneurs, they just want to blame the young entrepreneurs, right? Because they think they're far superior to them than all that stuff. But now, let's talk about the old entrepreneurs, because a lot of old entrepreneurs, they just like talking down on millennials, they like talking shit about millennials, they like sharing their perspective with millennial. And of course, all of that is completely fine. They're sharing their perspective, just like I'm sharing my perspective with you guys on this video. But honestly, I'm going to be giving you guys the straight up brutal truth, alright, that I believe it's the case with these old entrepreneurs. You see, these old entrepreneurs, millennials are everything that these old entrepreneurs say you should be. You know, you see all these entrepreneurs like, buy my fucking program, you know, do this, do that. Oh, you know, you have to be confident, you have to be cocky, you have to want to win bad enough. You know, all of these entrepreneurs are saying and expressing all of that stuff, and of course, as quote-unquote millennials, we are absorbing it. All right, and then we become what these old entrepreneurs want us to be, and then these entrepreneurs are like, holy shit, why are you so cocky? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Well, we're doing that because that's what you taught us. And again, I want to put myself in the group of millennials like that. You know, the video is just like way easier for you guys to understand. But again, I don't really consider myself a millennial. But anyways, so yeah, that's one thing. Okay, now the second and most truest thing is taking responsibility. All right, because this is something a lot of old entrepreneurs, they always want to blame it on the millennials. Oh, millennials this, millennials that, but they just don't take a moment to pause and look at themselves. All right, I recently made a post on this on Instagram, which of course is why I'm making this video, because I wanted to have my extended thoughts on it. But the whole point is that look, a lot of entrepreneurs blame society when they are part of society themselves. Okay, so millennials are only millennials, and millennials are the way that they are. It's because these old entrepreneurs, when they were younger, all right, they didn't make a strong enough impact. They didn't release a strong enough influence to actually impact the parents' life. What do I mean the parents? Well, I'm talking about the parents of the millennials. All right, that's, you know, what I'm mainly talking about right now. Okay, these old entrepreneurs, when they were younger, they didn't impact the life of the millennials' parents, and that's why, of course, the millennials' parents just raise, you know, these quote-unquote millennials, you know, these kids that they think they deserve it all with no work, and they just want free shit, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so again, these old entrepreneurs just need to take responsibility and say, millennials exist because it's my fault. I should have impacted people. You know, I should have, you know, sort of been a bigger influence when I was younger, instead of focusing so much on the quote-unquote hard work. Because, of course, back in the day, all right, a couple of years back, in the day of, I guess you could say, not the internet or whatever, it was all about hard work. It was all about hard work. It was all about making money and all that stuff. And nowadays, it's all about influence, all right? I mean, you guys see this all the time. We have the asses on Instagram, we have the titties on Instagram, we have the car guys on Instagram. I'm kind of a car guy myself. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys see that I post a lot of car pictures. You know, we have these entrepreneurs on Instagram. Like, now it's all about influence. Now it's all about influencing people and all of that stuff. But anyways, with that said, the point is that these old entrepreneurs just need to take responsibility for their actions. If they would have been a bigger influence when they were younger, if they would have influenced the parents of the millennials, then millennials would have never been a thing in the first place. But again, I want to go back to the term that my friend Carlos said. Older people always think they are far superior than the younger generation. Like, I really do believe that is just a universal part of nature. Like, I really do believe that's a universal law. But anyways, with that said, let's entertain this topic even more, and let's talk about another perspective that I want to share with you guys. These old entrepreneurs are really just intimidated by us millennials. Okay, again, I don't consider myself a millennial. I just want to say us millennials because, you know, like that the video is easier to comprehend. But anyways, what do I mean by this? All right, well, you see these old entrepreneurs just constantly saying things like, oh yeah, man, wait, I gotta do an old entrepreneur voice. Oh yeah, man, you know, back in the day, we didn't have internet. Back in the day, it was all hard work. You know, now shit's easy because of the internet, right? Like, you see these old entrepreneurs constantly saying things like that, and the reality is, it's just a defense mechanism to their regrets, right? They really just regret that back in the day, they had internet, because what they tell themselves inside of themselves, they say things like, man, you know what? I wish I would have had internet back in the day. Like, if I would have had internet when I started business, I would have been so far. And I know they are telling themselves this because every business person sort of has this sort of perspective. Like, I tell this to myself all the time, which is one of the main reasons why I keep on doing YouTube, right? I tell this to myself all the time. I say, man, I really wish I would have started doing YouTube videos in 2009 because I would have had millions of subscribers by now. You know what I mean? I constantly tell myself that, and of course, that's what these old entrepreneurs are constantly just telling themselves. They should just come to terms with the fact that back in their day, they didn't have internet, and they really should just stop complaining that back in the day, they didn't have internet, because listen, no one really gives a shit. And you know what's the biggest thing that doesn't give a shit? Evolution. Like I've said multiple times in my Salvajee Speak series, evolution doesn't give a shit about you. You either evolve or you stay behind, and evolution really is just a universal law. I mean, think about it, guys. Take a look at history, all right? The people that didn't want to evolve, they just died. Let's take a look at the Ice Age, for example. The humans that couldn't stand the cold, guess what happened to them? They died. Again, Evolution doesn't give a shit about you. Again, on another note, furthermore, these old entrepreneurs are just intimidated by millennials in the sense that we, as quote-unquote millennials, again, are going to accomplish more than them because of the internet. Like, all of these entrepreneurs, since they've been on business for many, many years, they know what 10 years is like. They know what 30, 40 years is like. And they say, wow, man, what would my life be with 40 years of actually internet? Well, these millennials that are fucking 19, 20, 17 years old, right, they're gonna fucking find out, right? And I'm not gonna find out because, I'm old and I'll probably die, or I'm probably not going to be able to, sort of make the best out of it. But anyways, that's really, a perspective that I just wanted to share with you guys. Again, old entrepreneurs, they are really just intimidated by us millennials just because of the fact that we have tools that they didn't. At the end of the day, what's my whole perspective on this? Yeah, man, honestly, this is just how things are. This is just the natural balance of all things in the world. I actually made a Salvajee Speaks on this. I'll link it at the end of the video. But yeah, this is just balance, Old people, they think they're better than young people. Young people, they think they're better than old people. Like, that's just the yin and the yang. The good and the bad and the good, and the good in the bad, right? This is how things are supposed to be, all right? The older generation must always think that the younger generation is worse than them or whatever. Because here's the thing, right? Millennials right now, we quote-unquote millennials at the moment, we in the future, we're going to be called the old entrepreneurs, and then we're going to come up with a term for younger people. All right, so younger people, I don't know, they're gonna be called ass wipes or whatever. All right, so millennials in the future, they're gonna be the old entrepreneurs, and then the millennials of the future, they're gonna be known as ass wipes. Again, it's just something that's just gonna keep on going. It's kind of messed up. It kind of sucks. I really do think that if we want this to change, we have to take responsibility for ourselves. We have to take initiative, and of course, we have to be out there, share our perspective, share a positive perspective with the world, and I don't know, share our thoughts and stuff. Whatever, man. I'm not fucking Gandhi. I ain't got the answers, alright? I don't know shit. I'm just a 20-year-old guy that doesn't know shit about life, and it's just on YouTube sharing his perspective with people. That's really just who I am. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to make a video on millennials because I've never really touched upon the topic, never really entertained the topic as well. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. Let me know your thoughts, alright? Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below. Remember, I believe in free speech, but I also believe in go fuck yourself, alright? So, don't be an ass when it comes down to sharing your thoughts. If you like the video, drop it a like, subscribe to join the Salvajee. So check out the other Salvajee Speaks videos in the playlist, and I would really like to hear you guys' thoughts. Seriously though. Anyways, peace out. See you on the next video.